Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Skin Reset podcast. This is the place where we talk all things well-being, womanhood, and things that help us feel grounded and gorgeous throughout our everyday life. Today, I'm joined by my first ever guest, truly inspiring Candice, the founder of the Mother Cuppa, a wellness or herbal tea brand on a mission to help women reclaim their energy, balance, and calm, one cup of a herbal tea at a time. Candice, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here.
It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to be your first guest. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I want to tell you first how how I was introduced to your friend, and this was actually my husband who got your teas for me as a Christmas gift, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I really enjoy your teas. You've done
Story. That's brilliant. What a lovely husband you've got.
All right, so should we dive in?
Yes, please do. Yeah, let's go.
So I would like to hear about the inspiration to the brand and what's like the story behind the Mother Cuppa and what sparked the journey. Like what kind of inspired you to create
my journey goes back quite a few years. So I was diagnosed with endometriosis about, must be nearly 24 years ago now. I can't believe that I can say that. It was quite bad. I had quite a major operation, and as part of my treatment was placed through a medically induced and reversed menopause in my 20s. I had been on an incredible amount of medication and had quite a journey at that point in my life. When they put you through an induced medication, they basically inject you with hormone treatments, and then they re-inject you with hormone treatments to get your cycles started again. So just had a lot of stuff in my body, and I didn't know what a normal cycle felt like for me, and I just didn't feel like I had any control over what was going on. And so I had decided to come off of all of my medication and really think about and try and explore what my body really felt like and what it really needed. We didn't have social media back then. I mean, it's that long ago. So off I trotted to the library, and they gave me a book, and it talked about different lifestyle changes. Endometriosis really wasn't very well known at that time. They used to send student doctors in and all sorts to have conversations with me and find out more about it. So I really felt like I didn't have anybody to turn to. And in the book that they gave me, it had this very small section on medicinal plants and how they might be some ingredients that could support your body. I think I really lucked in the sense that the health food shop in my town, the lady was really understanding of different women's conditions. And so I just became really fascinated with it, and I would go in every week and I would say, oh my goodness, I'm trying to navigate this, and she would give me all these lotions and potions and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And it was her who said, with the drops and with some of the ingredients that we're using, just put them into a tea blend. It will be a really nice way to imbibe it. And it's just been a little fascination of mine for a really, really long time. Didn't really tell anybody that's what I was doing. I was just really on my own. You didn't even call it a journey back then, did you? You just were interested in things. And much, much later, there was an opportunity to retrain as a tea sommelier, which I was very interested in. And it was sort of a bit of a hobby, but I ended up specialising in blending. And what it meant was that I could take the things that I'd been sort of creating at home and try and make them taste really amazing. And that's where it all sort of has navigated from. And then when I hit midlife, I was like, time to do something for me. And this just felt like a really natural thing that I wanted to try and do. Yeah, so here I am today.
I love that. I think it's always so good when it comes from it's your personal experience that inspires the products that you are creating.
And nobody starts things thinking, oh gosh, one day I'd really like to run a business with this.
Yeah, do they?
I didn't really even share my tea blends with people until, gosh, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, really not that long ago at all. And a friend of mine was really struggling with something, and I was like, do you know what I've created? This, don't think I'm weird, but I've created this herbal tea blend. Would you like to try it? It's really helped me. And she just was so Like, why do I not know that you do this? Why do I not know what you're doing? Why are you not sharing this with us? And I think it just sort of sowed a little seed in my brain of, okay, maybe I'm good at this. That could be a thing.
Yeah, I really love that the blends that you do, the tea that you do, especially for women, and like you kind of support us through like all the hormonal changes, perimenopause and menopause, and how the kind of like how it's like a holistic way to an approach to health and like how can you like tell more about it? How can they help?
Yeah.
How can they help us?
So each of the blends really has a bit of a backstory to each of them. So I sort of launched with the 3 that I felt I'd turned to the most over the years. And some of it's around ingredients and some of it's been around education and kind of awareness. So for example, the Energize blend was created because I made a choice to take caffeine out of my life about 15, really to help manage some of my hormones and specifically to help manage the sort of cortisol spikes that you get from stress and that the caffeine's interaction with your adrenal glands. And I really was sort of exploring things around that subject at the time, but I still wanted a blend that gave me a bit of a kick in the morning and some sustained energy throughout the day. But I was really looking at that point at sort of hormone balancing ingredients. And so that particular blend has 2 ingredients that are quite powerful in it. One is called ashwagandha and the other one is called Schisandra, and they are known as adaptogen herbs. So their job is to really help your body adapt to its internal stressors and keep the body in equilibrium. So that totally felt like that's what I needed at the time. And then we've added some other ingredients in there, or I've added some other ingredients in there that would help to sustain energy and would help with your stamina throughout the day. So that is a particularly good blend. I've slightly tweaked it before bringing it to market because I wanted to make sure it had lots of that ashwagandha and Schisandra in that we need now in midlife to really help us. The Hydrate blend is it's a reminder to me. So it's got some ingredients in there which will help to retain hydration, that support skin hydration and the body's temperature from fluctuating. But as a sufferer of endometriosis, much of my journey has been around pain management, which is caused by inflammations within the body. So I have found for me personally, if I can be very mindful about certain foods that I'm eating throughout the month and sort of eat for my cycle, it really helped with different inflammations. If I could manage my stress levels, that also really helped. But one of the key things was making sure that I had enough fluid in my body. And I really noticed changes on those days, particularly in the lead up to my cycle. You know, the days where you just get in and you think, I have not drunk enough today. I haven't even had time to have a sip of water. And I noticed through sort of my own journaling of keeping my diary of my symptoms that really wasn't helping. And I'm a real strong believer that we do an amazing job across social media and in publications of talking about eating all of the right foods. We're starting to talk a lot more about making sure we're getting a lot of sleep, but we're still not talking about making sure we're drinking enough.
Yeah.
And it's such a basic human need. And I personally believe all those little ailments and bits and pieces that go on, I think could be improved if we were consciously making sure we're drinking enough water. And then we more recently have the Relax blend and Clarity blend. So Relax is a blend that I created when I didn't know I was in early menopause at the time, but I'd started suffering with anxiety for the first time in my life. Mm-hmm. And I was really struggling with sleep, and I wanted a blend that was going to nourish my nervous system and really bring calm on the body. So that is the most popular blend I've created by far. So many women just need more relaxing time, I think.
Definitely.
Much more recently, so in the last 6 months, we've launched a blend called Clarity. The blend has been, so we surveyed our customers and asked them what they wanted from the next blend. We had a team of taste testers who got enjoyed sort of tweaking and helping with the iterations of the flavouring and the ingredients and what have you. And then we launched the blend through a crowdfunding campaign. So my customers all pre-ordered it. And it's been a really wonderful thing to bring to market because it's genuinely a product I know my customers wanted and have enjoyed consuming and bringing to the life, basically. So yeah, really excited about that one.
Yeah, I need to. I haven't tasted that one, so I need to.
Oh,
I need
she's
to
very
taste it.
special. She's really, really delicate, subtle flavour to it. She's not sweet, but she's quite peachy in aroma. But she has some ingredients in there. So we've got Gotukula and Ginkgo biloba in there. And in my world, they are known as brain tonic ingredients. So they're nootropics. And what they do is help with blood flow to the brain. This helps us with things like concentration, memory, recall, sort of dip in the afternoon when everything sort of falls out of the head, and will support the ease of brain fog. It won't get rid of it because there is nothing. I'm sorry, ladies. Yeah. There is nothing that will get rid of brain fog. I wish there was. But yeah, we'll just help to ease the brain fog on the brain.
I really like it. It sounds so good, and I really like how it's, it all works around the kind of the issues we tend to start having around in midlife, like this, the stress and hormone fluctuations and like cortisol. And I've definitely myself noticed that I can't drink as much coffee as I was able to drink before. It affects my sleep immediately. I can have 1, maximum 2 cups in the morning, but if I drink anything after 11 a.m., I just don't sleep anymore. And it does have immediate effect.
So many ladies say that to me, and it's really interesting because I have to be really careful when I talk about coffee because there are some real die-hard fans out there.
I love coffee. I really don't want to give up coffee.
And I would never want to be a person that says, cut that out of your life, you don't need that. I don't ever want to be that person. But if you are a person that is struggling with sleep or any sort of anxiety issues, reducing the caffeine in your day could have a real positive impact on your health and your well-being. Some people just don't want to give it up, so that's your choice, your life. My sort of understandings and the research that I've done and what I've sort of studied myself is have that 1 cup in the morning. Try and have it if you've had some breakfast first, try and have it then because it absorbs differently. And maybe just don't have anything after sort of midday, because when you look at the caffeine ratio in your bloodstream, and this is not me saying this, you can just Google how long does caffeine stay in your system for and it will come up with a wealth of information, but there's a ratio on the timescales that it stays in your body for. So if you're having struggles with sleep, when you look at the ratio, you'll see that actually sometimes there's still caffeine in your system at kind of 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Yeah, makes a big difference.
So are there any like misconceptions that you face or questions that you hear about herbal teas or like kind of confusion around them?
Yeah, that's a really great question to ask. There's a couple of things really. I guess one of the challenges is, for me as a brand that I'm understanding, is that, people, particularly in midlife, have been sold a lot to around our challenges, like genuine real problems. You can feel incredibly desperate when you've had months of no sleep or anxieties or painful periods or whatever it might be. You can feel in a really desperate place, and some of those products are really talking at you, and you buy them and they're not a magic fix. And what I want to say to people is you won't drink one herbal tea and all of your life problems will be solved. I'm really sorry. I genuinely mean that because I really would love to do that for people. But you equally can't eat one salad and fit into a size 8 bikini the next day.
Yeah.
Which is what I'd love to do. So I think it's about understanding that herbal teas and any supplements that you're taking are in addition to your lifestyle changes that you might need to make for whatever shift of cycle of life that you're in. So I think there's a real education piece around that, and it's a bit like the conversation around HRT. So every female body is so different that it isn't a one model fits all and everything is fixed. HRT is a combination of other things that you could be doing. So re-looking at your sleep routines and what you're putting in your body and what sort of exercise you're doing. And for me, herbal tea is a great addition to a healthy lifestyle. And I think that's how we should view it. And I wouldn't want to sell people a magic fix.
Yeah, it's it's similar with the skincare. Like it doesn't fix an overnight. Like even though I love like promoting face massage and all that, it's it doesn't. It's not the Botox. It doesn't
No.
make you look younger for years.
No.
But
As
it's
much as we'd love to look 10 years younger, wouldn't we?
it's a consistency, and like it's an addition to help you relax, help you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, consistency over time, I would absolutely say that about anything that you're doing in terms of your wellness routine.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody's perfect, and definitely not me. There are some weeks where I am on fire with the wellness and health routine, and there are other weeks where it just goes completely out the window and life gets in the way. And I think a little bit of compassion for yourself is a big part of this conversation, and just it being okay. And I'm talking to myself when I'm saying that, as well as to anybody who's listening. The other thing that has been really interesting for me is how many women want to love herbal tea or have tried herbal tea before and they just can't find one that they like.
I think especially, well, I'm from Finland originally, and there we don't have as strong like a tea culture there as definitely you have in here, that people have want their tea a certain way.
Yeah, so definitely different cultural things, but also that, you know, what they're getting in the supermarket shelf is quite cleverly marketed, but very poor quality grade tea.
Yeah.
And I don't want to offend anyone by saying that, but that is not what the tea industry is about. And it's a massive industry, not just in the UK, but in the world. Go to India and China and Sri Lanka, and tea is like ingrained in the culture. And the stuff we're getting from the supermarket is nothing like what they're wanting us to drink. So there is definitely a little education piece around giving my tea blends a try, because we use whole ingredients and we source the ingredients seasonally from around the world. So we're able to really pick some of the very best quality, because different seasons will produce different types of crop. And in the tea industry and the herbal tea industry, it's really similar to sort of the wine industry. A lot of particularly like your black teas that you're used to drinking, they all come from one plant, like the grape. And depending on where it's grown in the world, what terrain it's grown on, how high above sea level it's grown, what we're experiencing in terms of climate change and weather, lifestyles, will completely alter the flavour of a tea blend. And it's the same with the herbal ingredients that we use. So when we source the ingredients, we really want to look at where's producing the best crops. And we want the whole ingredients picked at the freshest point to be able to get the maximum health benefits from those as well. So that's been a really key thing for me in terms of sourcing. I now work with a UK blender that helped me do that, who specialise in that side of things, because I just possibly couldn't visit all of the farms I'd love to go out.
You need to, you need to ask for help when you need it.
Yeah.
Kind of like to round things up here, I know you mentioned at the beginning of different benefits of the different teas they have, but because so many women in our community, myself included, like we deal with low energy, sleep struggles, mood swings, all that, and like sometimes all the three together. So like what ingredients or what teas would you recommend for like how to...
So a good starting place. So I launched, and you'll see if you have a little look on my website, the blends are numbered. So 1, 2, 3, and we've just added number 4, which is clarity. So when I first launched, they come in a really lovely gift box. So number 1, 2, and 3. And in my mind, it was a tea for each step of the day, that if you were drinking 1 cup of those every day consistently over a period of time, you would feel the benefits of those. So we've got Energize for the morning, we've got Hydrate as your kind of go-to tea throughout the day, and then we've got Relax to end your day with. Now, you don't have to drink them in that order, but it's a really great place to start, and you get to try them and find the ones that fit for you and what's going to fit in your routine. But I would say level of consistency is helpful, and you will certainly feel more benefits. The Relax blend, you will feel the benefits of instantly. The ingredients in that one,
my favorite, my absolute favorite. Like I like
just knocks your socks off, doesn't it? Well, that's wonderful to hear, Jenny. I'm really pleased to hear that. So you'll feel the benefits of that one. Hydrate is going to give you the benefits. It's really similar to sort of water is giving you. So that's a consistency thing. Now, the Energize blend, because of the ingredients that it has in there, the way I know that it's working for women is I'll get a message from somebody and they'll say to me, "Oh my goodness, I'm about to run out of the Energize blend. Do you do express delivery? Like, I feel like I'm a bit panicky. I'm going to run out of it." And then I just reply to them and say, "Yeah, we'll get that sorted for you. I'll hand deliver it for you." But I say to them, now it's working, because you start to miss it and you can feel that you haven't got it in your system.
Yeah.
So it's not that kind of like, you don't get that instant kick like you get from caffeine, but you'll start to notice it when it's not there.
Amazing. And this has been so insightful, and I'm honestly going to go maybe like again try to maybe take back the second cup of coffee of the day, or maybe go to a
Yeah.
tea herbal tea
Maybe
instead.
swap it out for a clarity. That
Yeah.
might be a really nice one, because you're possibly going for that second cup of coffee just to give you that edge that you
Yeah.
need to kind of stay on track and fit everything in
Yeah.
during the day. So maybe a cup of the clarity might be a nice little swap
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'll definitely try. So like before we wrap up, can you tell everyone where they can find you, your teas, and how it's the best way to get started with your blends?
Sure, yeah. So my website is mothercuppatea.com, and you can come and find me there. I hang out a lot on Instagram, as you know, Jenny. I'm always over there. If you've got any questions, just jump into my inbox. I love chatting to new people. It's been a really great way. One of the best bits about growing a business was meeting so many ladies like me, which I've really enjoyed. So yeah, just come along and give me a follow on Instagram. I share a lot about the teas and their benefits, and you can just jump in and ask any questions anytime you like.
All right. So thank you so much, Candice, for being
Pleasure.
here. I love the
Yeah,
conversation, and I hope and know that everyone else who listens to this will do too.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jenny.